How's it going today, guys? Gameaholic here with another episode of the Retro Modern Pickups. Now, I know a lot of people are always looking for CIB. We're always looking for that top-tier title game that goes for a lot of money loose. But it's okay to pick up stuff loose, especially if you're trying to complete your collection. Because completing box doesn't bother me. Let me stop rambling. Let's get on to see what we picked up today. So this whole video is going to be loose games, so don't look for anything super over the top. There is some sports games that I will not be showing footage for, but there are certain sports games that I will be showing footage for. One of the things I picked up is actually a Wii bowling bag. This is brand new. Apparently these bags go for around like 40 bucks. I got it for $5, so I'm not gonna complain. And then the games. So, the first thing we picked up, I'm going to pull these out of the box, is Outlaw Volleyball Red Hot. Now, this was a Blockbuster exclusive, and I am a big follower of the Outlaw game series. So, when I picked this up, most of the slot is actually $1 or 2 for $1 for these games. So we got a nice chunk here to go through. Anyway, moving on, Outlaw Tennis. If you can tell, I've picked up a lot of the Outlaw series in this video. It's not going to be any different moving on. Outlaw Volleyball. You don't get a lot of good volleyball games, which is why I picked this up for around $1. Outlaw Golf 2, which is the sequel to Outlaw Golf. I forgot to mention this was all by MTV Games and Hypnotics. So good companies that actually worked on these games. And again, these are over-the-top sports games. So, and the Outlaw series is pretty good. I really wish they would bring it back. So now, finally, for something different. Nightcaster Defeat the Darkness. Now, I don't know a lot about this, but I wanted to get my hands on some more OG Xbox games as I'm trying to build that collection a little bit. It looks like kind of like a Might and Magic meets like Gauntlet sort of game. I could be wrong. Again, I picked this up on a whim because it was cheap. It was $1. But it's in fantastic shape, and I'm not going to complain. So, and then we got some sports games that I'm going to kind of just walk over here, and that's NHL 2003 and 2004. Currently in the process of trying to collect all these, loose or not complete. It doesn't matter. For the Xbox also, Project Snowblind. Now, this looked really interesting, as this looks like a war game. I did a little bit of research on this. It does look quite interesting. So when I get some time, I'm probably going to pop this one in and give it a look-see to see what it's really all about. And one game I really played for, mostly on PS2, but I know the Xbox version plays a lot better, and that's the original Ghost Recon. Now, Ghost Recon it's like the Monster Hunter series of America now. There's just so many of them. But I like popping in like these old school Ghost Recon games. They're just a ton of fun. Next adding to the list, I have the original, but I didn't have the sequel, and that's Big Mother Truckers 2. This is one of those like really out there racing style type games. I don't know anything other to say. It's basically the Xbox version of Big Rigs that has hillbillies. So I don't know what else to really say. But if I'm wrong with that, please, correct me in the comments below. I expect to get backlash for that. We have Kingdom Under Fire: The Crusader. Now, I've heard of the Kingdom Under Fire games. If I'm not mistaken, there's, I want to say 2 or 3 of them. I could be wrong there. Again, not doing a ton of research on these, but when you get them 2 for $1, why should you? It looks like a pretty interesting game, but I will try this one out just to see what it's all about. Again, it was cheap. Next up on the list, Ghost Recon Island Thunder. Now, this Ghost Recon particular was when I realized back in the day, the OG Xbox really didn't have DLC. It was stuff on demo discs or something that you could save to the memory card. I didn't realize that the expansions were physical, full-fledged discs that were basically just an add-on to a game, and as long as you had a save file. Again, it's 2025, people. I just realized that recently, so it tells you how out of it I am sometimes with games. Also on the Xbox, Blowout. Now, this one I never heard of, so I'm not going to pretend to even know anything about it. But this was by Majesco, and I'm going to check this one out. So yeah, I really don't know what else I could say. Also on the list, Knockout Kings 2002. Now I'm trying to get my hands on all the Knockout Kings and Fight Night series. To my knowledge, I think they're a part of the same series. So picking this one up was a no-brainer. I think I'm only missing 2 games at this point. Hopefully in a future video, we will get some of those, as they're not super expensive. And then the final 2 games, this one was interesting for the original Xbox, Seablade. Now this looks like kind of like an underwater shooter. I'm gonna take my own advice with that and stick with that. It looks interesting, and it looked interesting enough to pick up, as I had never heard of the game before either, which is why I picked it up. And the final game we're adding to the list is a game I already had in Japanese, but I finally found it in English, and that is Quantum Redshift. And if I'm not mistaken, I think a while back, I actually did a video getting Quantum Redshift, and it's basically like this racing over the top kind of like, you know, futuristic whatever. But for $1, I'm not going to complain to have the English version on hand, so that's why I picked it up. Thanks again, guys, for tuning into yet another episode of the Retro Modern Pickups. You know where to find me across all social media: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, your cousin Zanga, wherever the hell you think you can find me at now. Don't forget to also follow my buddies Seancopedia and Cy Retro. You guys are great, and as always, stay retro, guys.